All right. Red light is on. It's Tuesday afternoon. Welcome to the Fight Banana Show. Dave Van Auken. We have a Dawson, a little bit stronger Dawson. I think better looking Dawson. Grant Dawson. Grant, what's up, brother? How are you?
I'm good, man. How are you doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good. How's being a dad pup to three different puppies now? How's life over at the Dawson's house?
I like it. I like it. She's not really a puppy. She's just kind of
True.
there. She doesn't really bark. She doesn't really do much other than sleep and eat. So, I like it. I'm good with her. I like her. Ripley is closely becoming one of my favorite dogs. Our other dog, Caesar, is kind of acting out a little bit. He's peeing everywhere and whining. So I don't know what we're gonna do with him, but
I'll give you those stories. Yeah, with the four kids, if one it gets one closer to one birthday, one kid acts up because they want the attention. It's a thing. So that's a real thing. But insane news that we are in right now. I feel like this day more than anything, to me, maybe my favorite show is back. The Dana White Contender Series. We're definitely talking about that, especially with you, alum from that great show. The UFC just signed a $7.7 billion contract over 7 years. They'll go to Paramount Plus. We'll, of course, talk about that. And we're on the UFC 319 pay-per-view preview week, if you want to say. We talked about it all summer when all these big fights were announced. And you know me, I was a big Poirier Last Dance guy. But the fight itself, Chimaev and Dricus du Plessis, I cannot wait. The whole card stacked. The prelims are better than some UFC fight nights at the Apex. It's absolutely stacked, Grant. So a ton to get into, right? You feel me? You're with me on this?
Yeah. Oh yeah. We've got topics galore, and me and you could take one topic and turn it into a 3-hour conversation.
I know.
So we've got a lot to get through.
Let's start at the top. Let's start with this. Push this button right here. The UFC guys yesterday announced $7.7 billion, 7 years to Paramount Plus, CBS. This is kind of, to me, a little bit of the left field. And you as a fighter on the roster, a ranked fighter on the roster, I kind of want to start with that. When you heard it was when you heard it was that big of a deal, how'd you feel? And then two, how did you feel that it was going to Paramount Plus, CBS? It just seems, when I heard it, Grant, it was like, really? It felt like a backwards move because I'm not a big CBS or Paramount guy. That's one of the streaming services I literally don't have. And it's kind of why they did it, because I will buy it now. So how do you feel about them, the money and how big the deal was, and then them going to Paramount Plus?
Yeah, I would watch the UFC if it was on, PBS Kids. So I think the UFC has literally ascended past the platform it's on, right? You don't say, oh my God, the UFC is on this or on ESPN. That's great for for the UFC. You say, oh my God, the UFC is on ESPN. That's great for ESPN. And I think ESPN dropped the ball. I think they dropped the ball on this one. I think that Paramount Plus is going to have a lot more viewers. I think Netflix should have divvied up the money and got this deal done, because I think that, the UFC would have saved Netflix, would have saved Paramount Plus. So now we get to really see what's going on. And like, I have all the streaming services. I'm a TV junkie, you know that. So I have all the streaming services. I've already had Paramount Plus, but I'm definitely going to be watching it more now. The only thing I don't like about this deal is that there aren't more shows a week. I wish that we had a Thursday or a Wednesday night show and a Saturday night show, an Apex card and a pay-per-view level card, in the same week.
Well, and I did not know you were going to say that, so I don't want to go so left field, because we can, like you said, this could be the whole show. They did announce that, hey, our fight nights and our pay-per-views are going to CBS, but they did, and I did see this, and I've been reading everything, watching everything, and I think Shapiro is the last guy, his last name, and he's a part of the TKO board. He did say this doesn't mean all of the UFC. He literally said that. It means the fight nights at paper and the PLEs now, premium live events, the numbered events, they're going to CBS. But they did say that doesn't mean everything. So to me, Grant, I think of Dana White Contender Series. I think of the Ultimate Fighter. I think, like you said, they could have a once a month, a pop-up show on a Thursday night, kind of what football does, and stay maybe on ESPN Plus, or maybe go to Netflix. So I do think there's actually another move to be made. I don't know if you thought that out, but I do see like the Ultimate Fighter's not going anywhere. That's, they would have made more of a deal of it this year if this was the final season ever. And it's not, and that wasn't a part of the CBS deal. So they're going somewhere. That show will go somewhere.
Yeah, I would assume, I just wonder if they're going to focus a little bit. See, you say Contender Series and the Ultimate Fighter, and right now I think those things, how they're great shows, and we want to see these shows, they're bad for fighters in the UFC already. We don't need more guys. We need more shows. So if you're saying, well, we're not going to put a Wednesday night show because that's for the Ultimate Fighter, and we're not going to put a Tuesday night show because that's for the Contender Series, that doesn't really solve the problem of being a UFC fighter. That's great if you're a 5-0 kid coming up trying to make it, like, oh my goodness, my odds of getting in the UFC just doubled. Yeah, that's fantastic, but I'm already in the UFC, so I don't care about those kids.
I totally agree. They did with this deal 30 fight nights, 30 PLEs, so that's 43. This last year, if you want to say, they did 48 events. This year, I heard they're going to do 48 or 47 events. It was actually one less. So to me, there is a space for 4 or 5 events, maybe. And that's where I'm hoping, Graham, I'm 1,000,000% with you. I hope they stay on ESPN Plus with the Ultimate Fighter. They stay here on Contender during the summer. I actually wish it was more during the summer. To me, my kids are back. Like we're talking about Halloween plans. I'm looking, all kinds of Christmas stuff already. I wish Dana White Contender Series was dead summer, June, July, a little bit of August. I do think there might be a spot, 6 events, 10 events, 5 events, 4 events, for ESPN Plus. Maybe that is, we kind of talked off air a tad about it with Ellen and you just a tad. Maybe they do save a pay-per-view type of a thing. Maybe Ilya and Islam will be on ESPN Plus for $80. Maybe.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. There's 52 weeks in a year, and if they're having 48 shows, it doesn't sound like they're going to have multiple shows with real UFC fighters a week. Does that make sense? Unless they make a new deal with something.
Right. That's what I mean. I think they got to do a new deal because with this going forward, 2026 Paramount Plus, it's only 43. So like 5 events went away, which, like you said, I agree with you. It seems like, why would they go backwards when everything's going forward?
Do those events count? Contender Series and
no,
those are just UFC events.
Correct.
Yeah. So honestly, if I was the ESPN and they were on some shows on ESPN, I would say like, hey, we're not going to give you $7.7 billion, but we'll give you another $1 billion to have your lower level guys, your apex shows on, let's say Monday night, like Monday Night Football.
Yes,
we'll do it on our platform.
Yes, I totally agree. And I haven't heard this anywhere else. And I've been Monday morning when this kind of happened, I got a ton of phone calls. I don't know about you, texts and people in the industry. It was just like, wow, a lot of moving parts, I guess. And a lot of people, of course, that even work for ESPN are like, whoa, what does that do for me? And a lot of that stuff. One more thing on Paramount Plus, just give me like, you're saying you didn't mind it. I think it's a big deal. Those numbered events, those PLEs are going to be on CBS. Does that do anything for you as a high level ranked fighter, phenomenal record in the lightweight division? Does kind of being on CBS do anything for you, or don't care? Like you said, I would fight on Nickelodeon.
Yeah, I'll fight on Nickelodeon, man. It doesn't change my opponent. Doesn't change the size of the cage. It doesn't change who the referee is. The rule set's going to be the same. It really doesn't affect me, no matter what we're on. The only thing is I might get paid a little bit more, which would be nice. Even though I'm making good money, it'd be nice to make more. So sure. It's really, people freak out about these deals. But I remember when, I'm a little older, so maybe you don't remember this. I remember when the UFC went to Fox.
Yeah.
And everybody started freaking out about that. They're like, what does this mean? Are fighters going to get paid more? Are they going to get paid less? And then they were like, Reebok's coming in. So, we're not going to have sponsorships on the shorts. And everybody freaked out. What does this mean? Who's going to be able to keep going? And it all works out in the end, man. At the end of the day, getting punched in the face is the exact same, whether you're on ESPN Plus, Paramount, or CBS, Nickelodeon Kids, whatever. So getting punched in the face is getting punched in the face. And like I said before, I think the UFC has transcended or gone higher than whatever platform it's on, which is a great thing, which is a really good thing. The only thing is I want to see more shows.
Yeah. I'm intrigued. I think that's probably the last book to fall, or whatever the analogy is. I do think there's one more move. There's one more thing to happen, one more deal to be made, because like I said, those guys in the high ups for TKO and Ari Emanuel and Dana White, and I think his name is Todd Shapiro. I'm pretty sure. Sorry if I butchered that, but when he said it, he kind of like, he had one of those smirks, like we got one more thing. Like, this isn't everything of the UFC. We're like, of course you want to be, CBS just gave you $7.7 billion. So right now that's, you got to, when you marry your wife on the first day, you say, yes, ma'am, the whole first day. But after a week or two, you're like, wait a second here. You know what I mean? Sooner or later, another deal will be made with the Contender series. They're literally on ESPN Plus tonight. We'll get into that in a second, but it's going to be very, very intriguing. So there we go. ESPN, $7.7 billion deal, mega events. The White House event looks like will be on CBS. It's going to be a crazy 2026. Let's talk about right to tonight. I'll bring up this great picture. We posted it earlier. I'm a massive fan of Dana White Contender Series. I love the show. I just think it's very cool because at least for me, Grant, ESPN and the UFC, they do a great job introducing kind of maybe unknown or less known fighters to the main audience. It's like, hey, let's introduce this person. What kind of family do they have? What kind of gym? What's their record? You get this 3-minute video that you kind of don't get in the UFC anymore after you made it to the big dance. And you stars, it's a job interview, but also it's a Super Bowl all in one night. It's a lot of emotions. But it's one of my favorite things on, and it starts back tonight. I can't wait. Are you especially going through it yourself, are you as big a fan of the Contender Series as I am?
I wouldn't say I'm as big of a fan as you are, but I'm definitely a fan. When I was coming up, before the Contender Series was a thing, you had to be 18-2 with 18 finishes to even get looked at, and it was still like one loss and you're gone. It was way more cutthroat. It was way more difficult to get into the UFC and even more difficult to stay. And it seems like with the Contender Series and the Ultimate Fighter, it just kind of gives these younger guys a lot more hope. And that's, like I said before, I don't really care about the younger guys because I'm not there yet. And most of my friends are in the UFC. So yeah, it is nice to know though, hey, this kid who's coming up, didn't have a whole lot, has trouble reading, doesn't like working at McDonald's. I'm talking about myself right now. Okay. There's a goal in mind. It's not just a wing and a prayer. There's a goal in mind. Get to 7-0 with 7 finishes against total bums, and then fight on the Contender Series and really see what you're made of. Yeah. And it's, to me, and I don't know about you, like, the show is great. Like it's 5 fights. I like it how it's quick. It's very put together, a good way. Usually the fights are really good. Usually we do see crazy finishes because the fighters are so excited. They're trying to make a statement. And also, let's just be honest, I think you can't have the greatest level of competition. So if you are a Grant Dawson, a Jamal Hill, Sean O'Malley, you get, really you stand out because you're not fighting a UFC caliber guy usually. Sometimes that happens. I remember Diego Lopez lost on the Contender Series against Brito. And it's funny how to see his career absolutely flourished after that. So it's just, I love the show. 5 fights. I think Sanko's great on it. DC and Fitzgerald. I saw you and Fitzgerald. He's been pushing the Contender Series a lot on his social media platforms. It's just a great show. I'm just so excited. And again, maybe more than anything, Grant, it's Tuesday night. It's so far from the weekend. We got a big UFC coming ahead, but we still got 5 days. And tonight we got 5 fights for free. It's nothing better. Yeah, and the one thing that the Contender Series does is, so there's something that the UFC does that needs to be done, but I don't like, and it's after you've paid for the pay-per-view, they keep advertising the fight that you already paid to watch. There's like, right, who's good? Is it going to be Khamzat or DDP? It's like, guys, you've already got my money. Like, you don't think I know who's fighting tonight? You don't think I've researched every out of the UFC fight these guys have had? I know everything about these guys. Just get to the next fight. And with the Contender Series, I don't know who a lot of these guys are. Right. who the main event is and like why I should be excited about it. And so it is kind of nice, like when they're, hey, also tonight, remember these two guys, this guy trains here and he's a good prodigy under so-and-so, and this guy is the same, but under this guy. And so it kind of like builds the excitement. Oh, I'm already watching it. I don't really know who these guys are, but like, oh, this is kind of cool. Like I'm learning about these fighters as the show goes on. But in the UFC, it's like I already know everybody. Like
right.
Yeah. Already paid for the UFC like pay-per-view. Like
yeah,
you got my money. Just play another commercial or show me the fights.
Yeah, and it's like there's something about a newness to it, and seeing someone, maybe for a lot of us for the first time. Like, of course, maybe if a diehard fan has seen these guys on LFA before or another regional show or whatever, but to a lot of people last year, they saw Bo Nickel on the Contender Series or 2 years ago. That was the first time they ever saw Bo Nickel. Like, that was it. Right. Let me throw up this question. I didn't see it it looked like 15 minutes ago, but I didn't see it. It says, how does that affect pay-per-view points for champions? We don't know, and they haven't said that yet. I don't think anyone really knows. I still think there's a lot of moving parts. I'm just throwing this out there, and this is maybe me talking sideways out of my face a little bit. They literally doubled their money. The UFC has doubled their yearly income of streaming. Last year they made around 500 to 550 million per year to stream all these events. This year they're going to make 1.1 billion. 2026 to stream their events. So I would assume, of course, I don't think fighters' pay will go double. I wish they would. Some of my best people in the world are fighters, but I do assume, like I said, maybe it's me talking sideways, fighter pay will go up. Maybe it's 5%, maybe it's 10%, maybe bonuses go from 50 to 100. Maybe the big main event guys said, maybe if they're fighting one for, 1 million and some pay-per-view points, maybe because there are no pay-per-view points, maybe they'll be like, hey, you got a 2 million, that's your low. Like that, you're getting 2 million to main event, a PLE. I'm not exactly sure. Like I said, this is me talking a little sideways, but I do think fighters, the company doesn't double and the workers don't get anything. I will say that. The workers, you guys, the fighters should, and I believe will get something. Do you think that?
Yeah, I'm not really sure, and I wouldn't be surprised if they weren't really sure.
I agree. It's very new.
You start throwing the B word around, and you start saying yes, especially when there's 7 of those B's. Yeah. You start saying yes without really having everything figured out, because in the back of your head, you're like, well, I have enough money to figure it out now, like.
Right.
So I do think that fighter pay will go up. And I do think bonuses need to go up. You get a guy like Dustin Poirier who's making, I don't know what Dustin's making. I'm just going to throw out a number just for fun. He's making $1 million a fight, which is probably he's making more, but let's just say he's making $1 million a fight.
Right.
He goes out there for 25 minutes, swings and bangs with, Max Holloway or whoever it is.
Right.
And they're like, really great fight. Here's $50,000. And he's like, that's pocket change to him. It would have been better for him if he had just not fought crazy, not had all that damage. Not, like $50,000 is nothing. And now you take somebody like Chris Duncan and Mateusz Rambecki, who put their lives on the line for $50,000. That's at least life-changing money for them. It's not life-changing money for somebody like Dustin Poirier. Dustin Poirier could have given that $50,000 to me and not even thought anything of it. I wish. And also,
I triple agree with you. It's those guys deserve the bonuses, and then not even that. Let's be honest, that fight was so good that we're just using the Duncan as the analogy, right? That fight, those guys deserve even more. Like you said, how much time more they have to be off, how much do they take away from their body long-term or career-wise. It was one of the best fights, in years. It was phenomenal. It was great. And these guys are like, hey, well, let's go to war here. And I know it sounds bad. To only get 50,000 does seem a little short. When you say the billion thing. Exactly. It's like, hey, we got 1.1 billion and we're going to give you 0.00001 of it at 50,000. It just seems a little off. It's like, what was the greatest fight of 2025? And me and you go, oh, it was the Duncan Mateusz one, and at the Apex. Like, we just know it right off the rip. They deserve more than 0.00001%.
I like, excuse me, I like the idea of no more bonuses. And you get a guaranteed finish bonus. So like,
oh, I love that. Love it.
We're talking, they've got $7.7 billion. They can afford it. Let's say $50,000 for a finish, knockout, KO, submission, whatever it is, a doctor stoppage, anything that stops the fight, you automatically get $50,000. And then they have fight of the night, which is, let's just say, $150,000.
Yeah, love this.
Now these guys are really going out there and putting their lives on the line, and it makes sense. You can't tell me that if Rembetsky and Chris got $150,000 for that performance, you can't tell me they didn't earn that.
Right.
You can't say that's such big life-changing money that I think more of the lower level guys will try to finish so that they can get a guaranteed bonus and go out there and really put their heart on the line in order to get $150,000.
Love that. Love that. Love that. SG has a little question. Doesn't Dana slide a little extra bonus to some fighters on top of fight of the night bonus? I'll answer what I know, and Grant, you can if you want it. If you don't want to, totally understand. I hear yes. Sometimes, maybe if it's 75,000 a show, 75,000 a win, they had a crazy good performance. So instead of 150, I heard, sometimes Dana, it's 160 or sometimes even 175. It's a little like, hey, great job. Thank you. You didn't get the bonus, but keep doing what you're doing. It's just a thank you thing. Sometimes at work, you give someone an extra 20 or 50 bucks. It's like that. That's what I hear. Is that kind of the going? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I've gotten it's called a locker room bonus. I've gotten a locker room bonus every fight that I've not actually bonused. And it's been anywhere from $7,000 to $15,000. So,
nice.
It's just kind of, what they're feeling that day.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. That's great. So there we go. I think we nailed it. Like I said, we'll probably come back from it. We'll probably talk to Jillian about it. And crazy. $7.7 billion. Like 7 years. I saw someone posted that deal is right now actually worth more than Paramount Plus is. Like Paramount Plus's total is $6.2 billion. And they just signed a 7-year deal for $7.7 billion. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Hell and I were actually we're gonna chip in to try to see if we could get the UFC on Fight Bananas, but the highest we could go was $2 billion. So
we missed the mark. We missed the mark. They wanted a 7-year deal. We only were doing 3. We don't want to get we don't want to get married for too long.
Yeah. We wanted to see how it would play out like Bananas first, and then they started throwing around those bigger numbers. And could we have done it? Yes, but
one company we probably could get under our banner is the PFL. I'm just joking, guys. Just joking. Come on. We'll be live with them next week in Hollywood. We'll talk more about that. I do, and if you don't care about it, that's fine. But I just wanted to bring up this point. The ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports, they have the NBA under their umbrella, the NFL, the Major League Baseball, the number one. Like whatever the sport is, that's what they have. With the UFC leaving, or their big shows leaving, looks like in 2026, they do have the PFL signed for 2026. It is a little bit, I'm intrigued to see if the ESPN is going to stick with the PFL and try to push and promote them more. Be like, hey, we got it. Like, let's run with it. Or, hey, we're out of the MMA business. The UFC's gone. They're number one. PFL, we're gone after next year.
I think they're gonna see how PFL it does in 2026 because they've hired some new people. They're trying a different model, which is the exact same, but it is interesting to see. I feel like if I was the PFL, I could save them at least $3 million right now by cutting heavyweight, cutting 205, cutting most of the women's women fights. You could save, because nobody watches us other than Dakota Ditcheva. Nobody watches the heavyweights. Nobody watches the 205ers. We want to see the 85ers down to the 45ers and 35ers. That's pretty much what we want to see. So there, I just saved you almost $3 million right there.
Wow.
Put that into ticket sales now. If I was the PFL, this is what I would do. If I was the PFL, I would sign some college wrestlers to my fight deal, not put them in the tournament, just sign them to fight. And then I would go to their schools, like whatever school, college they're in, right next to their campus. That's where I'd put the event, and I would make the tickets, a decent amount of money. And you can make money there selling, because they're going to come in and they're going to support their college kids doing stuff. So if I was the PFL, I would start looking at stuff like that.
What a good comment. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. No, there's a lot of, I agree. I'm intrigued to see what ESPN's going to do. Like, it's the UFC, like you said earlier, and I actually completely agree with you. They have, over the last 5 years, they are a huge entity, and they can go anywhere. They can be on Nickelodeon, anything of that nature, and make it big. So I don't think the ESPN one will be spiteful, because you never know. You never burn any bridges. Maybe in 8 years they'll be back. You never really know. And also with that, people, kids or whatever, if Conor McGregor comes back and it's on the White House show, everyone's going to be talking about it. Like, ESPN can't not talk about it because it's not under their umbrella. You know what I mean? Like, they would have to cover the event. So I'm intrigued. I really am. And I want to, I don't know if the PFL got with them because they just wanted more content, and we have the UFC that's have the number 2, or now without the UFC, maybe ESPN wants PFL even more. Like, they might be like, hey, let's promote you guys more. Let's try to create Dakota Ditcheva as the biggest female star in the business. Thad, Jean, Dalton Rasta, whoever it is, let's try to push them even more on ESPN to make them as big as possible. It's it is a weird thing to see what's going to happen for them in a year, for sure.
Yeah, and I feel like they have weight classes that we're excited about. Like, I think that 85, 70, 55, and 45, and 35 are all weight classes that everybody gets excited about. I do, at least. I'm sure you do. And then heavyweight 205, and 95% of the women's roster comes on, and we all take a bathroom break. So it's like, just get rid of the things that aren't bringing in money. You don't have a big enough company to worry about diversity right now. Just do the things that bring in money. And I think those weight classes are the things that bring in money, and you can save so much money by not having heavyweight 205. I don't even think people are excited about the UFC's heavyweight division right now. I don't even think the UFC people are excited about, except for maybe like the top 4, the UFC's 205ers right now. So if they're not exciting in the UFC, they're damn sure not going to be exciting outside the UFC. So that's just all I'm saying. Also, you say that ESPN, isn't going to want to burn any bridges, but if there's one thing I know about a company that has every other major sport is they're prideful and like losing. So losing this deal maybe will be a really good thing for PFL. They're like, okay, you didn't want to work with us. We're going to make PFL so exciting, promote their stuff everywhere, and we're going to give them more money to flourish. I'm sure they'll ruin it, but
that's what I mean. It's very intriguing. It's a big kind of this next 18 months. It seems like when MMA goes through these little things, and I feel like this year, and I've been saying it all year, this year felt like a transition year. It just did the whole year. Just never felt like they were going all in with a couple of different things, and I knew the UFC knew that this deal was coming up to be. So I just think it was a transition year. Next year for the UFC and next year for the PFL might be one of the biggest years for both of their individual companies for a long, long time. What was I going to say about the PFL? Oh, by the PFL real quick. Tomorrow I'm heading to Charlotte, North Carolina, where the PFL is at. I'll be live in Charlotte for that. The next week, hopefully everyone knows this. Next Tuesday, Grant L, plethora of others. We just talked to the PFL yesterday, actually. Dan Hardy, Sean O'Connell, Thad Jean, Fabian Edwards, Dalton Rasta, a lot of the PFL staff and crew will be there for our live show that next Tuesday in Hollywood. Also, we'll be there for the event itself on that Thursday. So very, very fun times ahead. Real quick, right after this show, Elijah Smith, the guy, the Mr. Rampage Jackson himself, he's going to be on live with James Lynch under the Fight Bananas umbrella right after this show. If you guys haven't seen it already, yesterday we dropped the UFC 319 preview. Grant and I are about to jump into it right now. But Ryan Gerald with Mario Batista, one of the best bantamweights on the planet, and Marcus McGee, they talk about UFC 319 for 25 minutes. Very intriguing. Like, I love seeing and hearing fighters' takes on fights and fighters and different fighters and what they think. It was a good show. I watched the show. Very good thing. UFC 319 preview show. Ryan Gerald, Mario Batista, Marcus McGee. let's just say they were really high on Jared Cannonier, Grant. They thought Cannonier was going to get the job done. Russell MVP to the ground. They thought it would be more of a boring fight, but they thought Cannonier was a lock. They're saying, I was like, whoa, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like time is undefeated except for, undefeated in one. And that one is Jared Cannonier, man. I think he's like 41 years old, something like that. And he's still kicking ass and taking names. The cardio is still there. The chin is still there. The power is still there. Black don't crack, I guess. Like he's just, I'm dead serious. Like he like worships crystals or something like that. And dude, I'm thinking about looking into it.
We might. I'll be rubbing crystals all over my body after the show. I don't know.
41 years old and he's still kicking ass. Oh, so it's like I could definitely see him be. I don't think he's going to wrestle MVP.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, they thought that he was, and that's what I mean. I was like, not sure. I feel like Jared has the power. So let's get it, guys. We're going to break down UFC 319. This is the main card. I'm actually going to bring up a picture of the prelims. Grant, I know we were very high on UFC 300 prelims. These prelims at UFC 319 is phenomenal. Like there's Barbosa versus Close. Hooper versus Hernandez, Battle versus a guy I can't say his last name, Nuzaboyev or something. There's some really high-end Andrade versus Lupi Godinez. There's some really good high-level fights on the prelims, but this main card, absolutely stacked. Jeez.
Yeah, that is a card.
Huh?
This is like a 2010 version of card for the UFC. This is incredible. Like this is a great card. And the thing that I love about this card is Plessis versus Chimaev would have carried this card.
Yes.
You could have done, 6 nobodies on the main card and people were still going to buy it. This is a phenomenal card. This could be fight of the year. Card of the year.
Yeah.
Of fights. I'm very excited for this one.
Yeah. And like to kind of like, and it's to me, maybe more important than the names itself and how it looks. The matchups are like incredible. Like to me, Tim Elliott versus Kai Asakura. Kai Asakura just fought Pantoja for the world championship. And now like everyone's, down on the name, but that's still a mysterious type of guy and fighter. I think MVP has always got a little bit of that. Of course, Aaron Pico is probably the biggest mystery of this card. Boosted into a co-main event. A Bellator phenom, hasn't fought in the UFC yet. First opportunity, fighting an undefeated murderer in Laron Murphy. I think you got Jeff.
Favorite.
Pico's the favorite?
Pico is the favorite, which is insane to me.
Yeah, that's insane. That's insane.
Just beat Josh Emmett, who I think is a better version of Aaron Pico. That's crazy to me. Undefeated in the UFC.
Yeah.
Amazing wins. Had a little bit of a scare against, Dan Ige, but everybody gets caught. Everybody gets wobbled against the guy you shouldn't have gotten wobbled against. And then he managed to fight back. I don't understand it. I think, look, this isn't betting bananas, but if it was, I would be saying put everything you got on Laron Murphy.
Okay.
There's a parlay in this that I really, really like. And if I could, I'd probably be betting my house on it.
What's that? What's your parlay?
Let me pull it up.
Let's open your DraftKings account.
Yeah, definitely. I'm playing the card.
Oh man, no, like I totally agree. Like guys, Aaron Pico, I've heard great things about him. Actually, I met him once in Albuquerque. Very nice, but this is his first UFC debut, co-main event of one of the biggest shows of the year against an undefeated guy. It's not like they're an old school veteran. Usually they put that guy against like a Barbosa type, like really big name, but maybe not one he once was. Laron Murphy's in the peak of his powers right now.
So here's a parlay that I would do if I could bet, and I want to iterate. I am not betting. I don't bet. This is just a parlay that I like to come up with on my own that I think would hit very well. Kai Asakura over Tim Elliott. Laron Murphy, who's an underdog, over Aaron Pico. And then people are going to give me a lot of hate for this one. Dracus du Plessis over Chimaev. So two underdog. Oh, sorry, one more. Chase Hooper over Alex Hernandez. So you have two favorites, two underdogs. Parlay those four together. I think that is a very, very winnable parlay with a lot of money.
What's the number? Like, what do they come out to? Plus what?
Like all together?
Yeah. Do you know that?
I have no clue altogether, but you got plus 190,
Yeah.
160.
So that's around 5.
And then you got minus 330 and
6.
minus where is it? Minus 330.
And I'm pretty decent at this. I would guess someone put that in the machine if you can, guys. I would say plus around 880, plus 900, somewhere in that range.
I'm gonna put it into Chat GPT.
There you go.
It's B4.
Remember when I couldn't say Chat GTB?
You still can't.
Oh, I messed it up.
Plus 190 plus 160.
Yeah, I'm gonna say plus 880.
330 minus 330.
This is riveting TV right here.
Yeah, no, sorry.
No, this is good. This is the show. Oh, Sean Sterling said plus 1178.
Oi. Let me see if he's right.
Yeah. Wow. I was guessing off the top of my head. I said plus 880. Good, Sean Sterling.
Yeah. Yeah. He forgot the 90 cents, but that's okay. We'll let that slide.
We'll let it slide. Yeah. Wow. Whoa. Plus 1178. We got to make maybe we're making an artwork for that. We got to do, not to be funny, but like we got to get you a DraftKings deal. I've been seeing DraftKings giving fighters tons of money. Grant Dawson's got a parlay for you, DraftKings.
Yeah, it's probably not going to hit. So
yeah. So they'll be happy about it. They'll be like, people put it in. And then
while we're talking about it though, like DDP versus Kamzat, who you got?
No, okay. So I'm happy you asked me this, to be honest, because I do this all the time. I see the fight poster and I think one way, and then I get into it, and then there's a lot of other events, and now this week I've been all in. I am dead set on this pick. I feel so good about this pick. He's the boogeyman for a reason. Chimaev is winning the world championship on Saturday night. And I know, and you guys be like, dude, I'm a high, you know me, I love Dricus du Plessis. Like, I think he's so underrated. This run's been amazing. Chimaev is the boogeyman for a reason. I just think he has just the it thing. He just has a winning. He could just do stuff that no people on the planet can, especially of his weight class. It just absolutely suffocates you. And then here's my biggest thing. And I've been hearing this all week for 2 weeks when people preview this fight. They're like, hey, if Chimaev doesn't get it done in the first 4 minutes, and then it all goes to Dricus, and Dricus will be amazing in the 5th round. Like, don't you think that Chimaev, a high-level athlete, a team around him who's fighting for the world championship, like if you don't take this fight serious, you don't take anything serious, you don't think this guy has put his body through whatever he needed to be ready for a 25-minute fight against Dricus du Plessis? I think Chimaev could be fresh in the 4th and 5th round and beat him there as well, but I don't think he gets there. I think he stops him within 2. I do. I think Chimaev is that guy.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but man, he had a close fight with Gilbert Burns.
Yeah.
He had a close fight with.
If I could say just real quick and keep going, if you guys ever watch back the Dricus du Plessis against Darren Till, who after that fight, Darren Till never fought for the UFC again. Dricus didn't smash him and go through him. It was a wonky fight. I actually think Darren Till won round 1. It happens sometimes on the way up. You don't know how great you are until you defeat that guy. And I think, and I get it. That fight was cool. That fight was awesome. The Chimaev and Burns fight was like fight of the year. I get it. But every test he passed, like he's undefeated. He wins. And when he's supposed to smash people, like the leech, he does it in 50 seconds like no other man on earth. Like, we've all seen Robert Whittaker lose. He lost a split decision against RDR. That's like RDR's the man. He broke his jaw in 40 seconds. Like, we just don't see that. Like, he is that guy.
Yeah, but then you have Usman, who fought him on 4 days' notice and went to a split decision. Old man down a weight class. Like,
wait.
You see what I'm saying here? Like,
I get that.
It does get out of round 1. Dricus du Plessis, who walks around at 230 plus pounds, cardio machine.
Yeah.
crazy good chin. Never
So good.
He's so under. He's so bad at fighting. He's good at fighting.
Yes,
Like,
I agree.
dude, he's gonna win via the friends we made along the way. He's gonna win via the heart of the cards. It's how do you beat a man that Tasmanian devils you?
Hasn't happened in the UFC. He's undefeated.
It's popular since the 80s. Like it's coming back, baby, and it's called Dracus du Plessis fighting style.
It's the word it's not a, and this pick isn't a anti-Dricus du Plessis. Sometimes I pick that way about like, I think this guy's overrated, or I don't think he's as good as he is or she is. Like right now, I'm picking Lupi Godinez more on, I think Jessica Andrade is on the decline. So I'm picking the other side, the younger side. I'm picking Lupi. This fight, it's not about anything negative about Dricus. I think Dricus is the second best middleweight on this planet, and he beats all those other guys, Imamov, Kyle. I would have Dricus over them. Not this one. I think Chimaev is that guy. I do.
Did you watch Dracus's last fight with Sean Strickland?
Yeah, I've seen him. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I thought he looked a lot better.
Yeah.
I thought he didn't look like a cartoon character. I thought he looked a lot better, and that gives me a lot of hope that he's getting that. Dude, I just think that his size and his physicality is going to be too much. And you say, I figured, Khamzat's motivated enough to be fresh in the fourth round. I think du Plessis motivated enough to be fresh in the fourth round. I think he's motivated enough to understand, like, if I don't get finished in the first, I probably win this fight. Okay, he takes me down. Maybe I stay in guard. Maybe I close my guard and I just elbow off of my back, just try to survive to the next round. Okay, he's tired. I'm sweaty now. It's a lot harder to get me down. Oh, I'm landing these kicks. Oh, I'm switching stances. Oh, I'm landing these big knees, these punches. I don't know. I'm not sold on Khamzat Chimaev. I know he's the best thing since sliced bread. And there's a little bit of biasism with me because I think that if we see Khamzat become champion, we don't see him fight again for, 15 years.
No, that I agree with you on, by the way. And also, like, I'm just, you asked me who I'm picking. I would rather I actually like Dricus more. And I know this is a dumb thing. Dricus interacts with Fight Bananas on socials a lot. Like, he really boosts our post about him. Chimaev, we've never talked to him ever. So I'm rooting for Dricus. And I know it sounds bad, but I'm just being honest. Dricus is good for business. He's good for Fight Bananas. So I'm rooting for Dricus du Plessis.
He's good for everybody. He's good for the UFC. He's good for Fight Bananas. He's good for the fans that want to see the champion fight more than once every 16 years.
No, I agree. But if you, not with my heart, you saying who's going to pick? I'm picking Chimaev, the boogeyman, the guy. Two things you said there, and I want to go back on you, but I wanted you to finish your point. One was about Strickland. I'm being honest. I'm not as high as maybe others on Sean Strickland right now. I think Sean Strickland loses to the top 8 in the middleweight division. Like he had a run, kind of surprised Izzy. Maybe it was at the perfect time of Izzy doing this a little bit. I don't know. He surprised him. He won the championship. I think he lost to Dricus not once but twice. And I think the second time Dricus looked better for sure. I am just not high on Strickland. So like that win, I give more merit on the Robert Whittaker win than the Sean Strickland win. Because I still believe in Robert Whittaker. That's just me. That's me.
But also, hold on real quick, just to counter that point. You say that. You say, you're unimpressed with Sean Strickland. I'm going to be honest with you. I've never been impressed with Sean Strickland.
There you go.
But I've never been impressed with RDR, and he just beat Robert Whittaker.
Yeah,
I think everything that you're saying about Sean Strickland, you could say about Robert Whittaker. You just like Robert Whittaker a lot more than Sean Strickland.
No, I don't disagree with you there. I don't. Robert Whittaker is that guy. I think Robert Whittaker, and I do think they're at different times of their career, but Robert Whittaker had a higher high. Like his fight against Yoel, his fight against the top guy, that middleweight for a year or two until he lost to Izzy. And then he had a good time coming back to it. That second fight against Izzy was a really good fight. It's kind of gets lost in this middleweight. There's been a lot of great stuff, but his second fight against Izzy was really good. But sorry to go so much on Whittaker. Something about Usman. And I'll be honest, I was never the biggest Usman guy during his biggest heyday of a welterweight division. And I think you know why, because I'm a Masvidal guy. So you know me, I'm super biased. I don't hide it though. That's who I am. I'm a Masvidal guy. So Usman was smashing Jorge, so I was never as big as Usman guy. But then you look back on the run and what he's done, and then even what he did against Chimaev, and then his win against Buckley. I know it sounds bad. Like I'm an Usman guy now. Like he was so good. I'm the second or third greatest welterweight of all time, one of the best welterweight runs ever, and then still doing it at this high of a level, this age. I know Usman took the fight on 4 or 5 days notice, but also Chimaev did too. Chimaev was supposed to fight. That one was Paulo Costa, a stand-up puncher, power guy, and then has to switch it into Usman in 4 days. And I know he was in camp, but you don't give him a little bit of like, he did have to change against one of the greats of all time.
No, because when you're fighting a guy like Chimaev, when Chimaev goes into a fight, he's going to fight the exact same way. Like everything that he did to get to Usman, he was going to do against Paulo Costa. Usman didn't take a single shot on him. Didn't shoot one time. So like he still got the stand-up orthodox fight that he was supposed to get. He just got a guy coming off the couch, a weight class down. You know what I mean? Which guy would you rather be? The guy with
1,000,000% Chimaev. 1,000,000%.
Exactly.
I'm not saying that, but he so you think seeing a Costa to Usman, nothing changed?
Yeah, something changed. You got to fight a smaller, older guy with less power.
Okay.
Now, if Khamzat or if Usman had gone out there and tried to wrestle, I could say, okay, yeah, Khamzat probably wasn't expecting that. But Usman didn't do anything of the sort. There was no game plan change. There was no like, oh, we were worried about this guy. Now we're worrying about this guy. It was, there's not enough time. Just go out and do what you do.
Right, right. So with that being said, you just said Chimaev is going to do what Chimaev does. We've seen Chimaev do this 10 times, 12 times in the UFC, never lost. Most of them doesn't get out of the first minute or two of the fight. Then he's had a couple phenomenal fights with Burns and maybe with Usman. What do you see different with Dricus to be like, oh, I actually think for the first time ever, Chimaev isn't going to do Chimaev and Dricus will win? What's the difference?
I think the size.
Okay.
And I think that Usman, like, you get held down for a round like that. Usman's not a big power puncher. He's not a big volume guy. He's not a big, he's very just like touch, 1, 2, touch, 1, 2, takedown. And when you take away that takedown from him because he didn't want to wrestle with Khamzat, it just kind of went out there like touch, defend the takedown. Touch, defend the takedown. I think with du Plessis, it's going to be, okay, you won that round. That's cool. Touch, big kick, switch stance. 1, 2, 3, big kick, switch stance, fall over, get up. Touch, big kick. And that wasn't, Khamzat taking him down. That was just du Plessis falling over because he's du Plessis. And then the volume just kind of like keeps etching and etching. Oh, stuff that takedown. Oh, stuff that takedown. What you got now, big guy? You know what I mean? Like Khamzat Chimaev could make 170. We've seen him do it before. Right. Don't think du Plessis will ever make 170. And if he does, we need to take him to the hospital because that man is dying. You know what I mean? Yeah. I do. And everyone says this. I would love to see Dricus at 205 because the middleweight division is amazing. There's so many guys. There's one guy I actually want to talk to you about also in the middleweight division. That division is so good. Imagine Dricus at 205 right now. Like, that would be awesome. Like, he probably does the same thing he does at middleweight. And, give me Dricus versus Poatan. Give me Dricus versus Ankalaev. Like, these are really cool, different fights. So I would actually love to see that, to be honest. I want to stick with UFC 319. G's coming on in 10 minutes, but I want to get this major point across to you. I've had this rant and I've had it saved. So I was like, let me get this rant off with you. And then we'll go back to 319 if we have time before Jillian. Fluffy Hernandez. Yeah, Poetan's at the movie. I saw that right. This drives me crazy. I was such a big Poetan guy, Grant. This isn't the rant. He's about to fight for the world championship in 7 weeks. And he's doing a movie. I don't know why that bothers me. It bothers me. I'm sorry. I'm just that guy. Sorry.
Did you see that at all? Does that bother you as a fighter, or no, you don't care?
He did what now?
He's in a movie. He's doing a movie.
Why does that bother you?
Because like I think this is why. Because I'm I'm like an underdog. Nothing comes to me easy. Like people to do this show, I have ideas. I have notes. I do these rants driving in the car. I have all this stuff going. And Poatan can not give a crap about training. He does a little bit of CrossFit and he shows up, fights for the world championship. Like I'm just an over practice guy, and we're setting up. Me and Elle are talking about this live show. How many times have we talked to each other about this live show next week? And it's going to come and go. Like I over plan things and over study things. And when people can do it super easy, I guess I'm just jealous of them, and it just bothers me. It bothers me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I get jealous a lot. That's something I'm trying to work on. And I think the thing is, like, there's enough fame to go around, there's enough prosperity to go around, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. Good for him, I guess. I think he's got one more fight in him. I think if he fights and loses to Ankalaev, it's done. I think if he fights and beats Ankalaev, it's done.
Ooh. Okay.
I think he's got one more fight in him, so good for him getting some money somewhere else.
Okay. All right. My rant is going to be about Fluffy Hernandez. Okay. So you sent me a really cool picture, and not even that name came up a lot. Fluffy Hernandez guy, Saturday night, smashes Roman Dolidze. What a phenomenal performance. Are you with me so far? Right? Like really good performance. That night, people said the Cain Velasquez analogy. Maybe you sent me some kind of fun artwork. One of my favorite people on this planet, Jillian Robertson, called him the middleweight Marab. Okay, so I saw that, heard that. I'm like, okay, guys, I know he's a Fluffy Hernandez. And and the worst thing is, I like Fluffy. This is going to be such a dumb thing because this is going to come out so bad. I know he's on a good winning streak, and I know he looked awesome on Saturday. But we went too far. We went with the pendulum. There's a word for it. Like we went 180 the wrong way on Fluffy Hernandez. Really good guy. He does not beat any of the top 5 middleweights on this planet right now. Doesn't beat Imamov. Doesn't beat Kyle. Doesn't beat Dreykus. Doesn't beat Chimaev. See, I know. This is why I wanted this. I think we went too far the other way of like, this is the greatest fighter in the history of the sport. Come on. He had a really good performance against Roman Dolidze. He's not Cain Velasquez. Grant, we can't do this.
At least you could pronounce his name right.
I feel good. That was good. I practiced that rant for like 3 times. Practice it. But do you know what I mean? I just feel like he was an underrated type of fighter.
What's your evidence? What is your evidence that he can't beat those guys?
Kevin Holland smashed him 2.5 years ago.
Bobby Green knocked me out in 30 seconds. Yeah,
no. That's a difference. A one-punch flash knockout to I beat you up for 15 minutes. Like don't you agree there's a difference there? No, and let me ask you this question, and I would love your take. I don't think I've ever asked you that. So you get up after Bobby Green, you get up, you sit down on the stool, like, hey, they do a smell insult to you. You're like, okay, we're gonna start this. We're gonna start this back up. Do you think you beat Bobby Green right after that?
Yes.
Me too. Like it was a flash knockdown, and it was over. Like I don't know. Do you remember the Kevin Holland Fluffy fight? Like Kevin Holland beat him up for 15 minutes. Like,
I think everybody's allowed a bad night. I think people get better. I think Charles Oliveira got submitted by Ricardo Lamas and Anthony Pettis back to back, and now is one of the greatest of all time. I think I think people put a little bit too much into. They forget that like every fight is a clean slate.
No, I agree. No, I agree.
Look, I get what you're saying. Maybe he was sick that day. I fought with the flu before, like it's maybe something was on that day. Maybe he just got better. Isn't that the whole point of this? Is we just get better?
1,000,000%. And great. He's really good. Like that's my point. He's really good. I think he's 7th right now in the middleweight division, moved up 3 spots. He is really good. He beats Sean Strickland. I think right now in 2025, 2026, he beats Israel Adesanya, like legendary guys.
You just said you don't think he beats these guys.
I don't think Izzy's a top 5 guy. No, but Kaio, Imamov, Dricus, and Chimaev, he doesn't beat. 4 guys I can say I think really positive about.
What about DeRitter?
Huh?
What about DeRitter, RDR?
I think Fluffy beats him. I think.
You don't think he beats Imavov?
No, I don't. And I'm so happy because Jillian is there. All right, guys, let's get her onto the show. We got to do Banana Blitz after this too, but maybe another time. This has been such a good show. Lot to get into. UFC signed a $7.7 billion deal. We're talking about Fluffy Hernandez. We got UFC 319 to talk to. So let's bring on the one and only Jillian the Savage Robertson. What's up, G?
What's up? How are you guys doing today?
Good. How are you, friend?
Doing good. Still just sitting here waiting for, maybe a phone call. Just still waiting.
Nothing. Unbelievable. Well, you won't be waiting next Tuesday because next Tuesday, live at the Hard Rock, our live show goes off. We have to text you. We finally have a schedule, so we'll text you a time. We have a fun thing we also want to do with you at the Hard Rock, and maybe I think I should say this more off air. I think we're going to do a big Fight Bananas family dinner, and you never know. Grant Dawson might be treating all of us, which would be amazing.
Doesn't seem like it's the plan from Grant's point of view there.
Right. I think I'm hurt that night.
Yeah, unbelievable. All right, we're on this Fluffy Hernandez diatribe, at least for me. So I want your take because one of the things I heard what you said. You said he was, and we saw the post. Aaron Bronstetter did it, and we posted it on socials. The middleweight Merab, Grant's favorite heavyweight of all time, Cain Velasquez. A lot of analogies went there.
Cain Velasquez.
What is it?
Velasquez. You're doing this on purpose. I'm done.
Is it wrong?
Yes.
All right, let's do Cain. All right, the heavyweight. Brown Pride. I think Fluffy Hernandez is really good, and also had a awesome performance on Saturday, a career-defining performance for sure. I think we went from he was underrated and wow, he doesn't get enough street cred, he doesn't get enough credit, all that, to oh my goodness, we're overrating him now. I hear he should fight for the championship next. I heard Cain, I heard Merab. I'm just not ready to make him one of the greatest. Merab's the greatest bantamweight of all time. Cain might be the greatest heavyweight of all time. Like, that's not Fluffy Hernandez, guys. Where am I at here? Am I off the beaten path?
I'm just saying stylistically, very Merab-esque, very Cain-like, just all known for that cardio-esque, especially I feel like with Merab and Fluffy, they just are so fluid in their movements. They just don't hold on to anything. They're just willing to move. Like, they'll shoot a shot. If they don't get it, they're coming back up as strikes. If they do get the shot, they're striking on the ground. They're just mixing all the sports together so well. So I'm like, stylistically, I definitely see like those comparisons. I think it is a bit too soon to say like he deserves a title shot. Okay. I think we do need at least one more fight before we get there. But yeah, I've definitely obviously a super impressive performance over the weekend.
Let's play this game with you as well. Do you have Fluffy Hernandez or this middleweight? You guys ready? Do you have Fluffy Hernandez or Dricus du Plessis?
Dricus du Plessis.
I don't know.
Wow. Jillian Robertson. I love it. I respect it. Okay. Do you have Fluffy Hernandez or Chimaev?
Chimaev.
That one I definitely see as a harder matchup for him.
Wow.
Yeah, and like I'd probably side Chimaev on that one.
Okay. Dude, I love this. Fluffy Hernandez or Imamov?
Fluffy.
Yeah, I'd say Fluffy on that one.
Fluffy Hernandez or Kaio?
Fluffy.
Yeah, I think that's not necessarily, but a similar matchup to what we saw last weekend.
Yeah, I agree. Very similar.
Dude,
maybe a little bit more danger on the feet, but we saw that he's willing to get a takedown and let somebody up.
Yeah, amazing.
That's a hard style to beat because as soon as you start, unless you got a great guillotine, which I don't know if I'm sorry, who
Ohio.
Thank you. I don't know if he does have a great guillotine, but I know he's got a really good jiu-jitsu game. Trains with Damian Maia a lot, blah, blah, blah. Really good jiu-jitsu. Totally love it. But if you just get taken down and let back up, punch, 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 taken down, let back up, if you don't have a good guillotine, it's hard to beat that style, especially if you don't have Francis Ngannou level of knockout power. You know, if you're not a one-shot kill you type of guy, it's really hard to beat that style.
No, and I do agree. I will say that, like, and I think we talked about it off air, and even I feel this about both of you guys. You guys are such a tough matchup for so many fighters. You guys are just not, when other fighters see you guys on that dotted line, they're like, God dang it. Like, it's not fun. It's not what you want to go against. And I think Fluffy is that guy for the middleweight division. So crazy. But I just, like I said, Saturday night, it was about Fluffy, and I love that. I really do like the guy. He's awesome. But it just seemed like we went like, he is the third greatest middleweight of all time. It just seemed like we went wild with it, at least on the media side.
To be fair, the two people that we've said that we think would beat him are the number one and the number two guys right now, you know, like for the championship right now. And I could see Hernandez beating both of those guys. I don't think he would right now. Jillian said one more. I'm saying maybe 2-3 more.
No,
you know? I don't care if he's got a little bit of a longer road. He's young. He's really good. He's beat some really good guys. And man, I'm telling you, that up and down style is just so hard to beat.
Yeah, no, I think what I got from this is that I'm wrong. Like, I feel I'm not giving Fluffy enough of his flowers, and like, you guys see it. I say this all the time. You guys are in that room. You see it a different way than I see it. So when you say that, I think, I guess I'm probably not giving Fluffy enough Fluffy flowers. So there you go. All right, UFC 319. We'll go right over the main event. We talked about it a lot, me and Grant. G, I would love your take. One of the best.
Dave, real quick, Elle's calling me. So
okay, I'll drop you out. There you go. Boom, push that button. We talked about this for 10 minutes, G, about Chimaev and Dricus. Would love your take. Love this fight. Fight of the year written all over it. You got Dricus or Chimaev Saturday night?
I don't know. Obviously, after Chimaev's last performance, the absolutely flawless, effortless, that definitely put, I guess, a different question mark in my head for this fight, where I was more sided Dricus, like thinking about this matchup in the future. Now, after watching how he just manhandled Whitaker, I don't know. I'm maybe slightly leaning more Kazmat, but I still think that Dricus' style is just too awkward and too, I don't know. It's hard to find somebody who's going to match that style or to get ready for that kind of style through camp.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. We talked about Grant has Dricus, thinks he's just too big, cardio, power, all this stuff. I got Chimaev. I just think the boogeyman of it, the undefeatedness of it, when he beats guys like Whitaker in 45 seconds and the Leech in 30 seconds and how dominant he is, that's the guy. Like, he is the champ. He just hasn't fought for the title yet. People, I don't know why, G, I love when people go through a tough fight. Like what he did with Burns and Usman, like people use that as a negative. I think it's a positive. Like, Usman is a bona fide Hall of Famer, one of the greatest welterweights of all time. Burns had a phenomenal career. That was kind of to me, the beginning of the downward a little bit for Burns, but he beat them both. And I thought had some really big moments. So like, I don't mind going 15 minutes or 25 minutes with one of the best in the world and getting through it, you know?
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know. It just like, I think it was the same case with the Burns ones. I know it was the case with the Usman one, that it was definitely short notice for Usman on that one.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, those were just always like little asterisks for me, where I'm like, yeah, he's good, but like Usman on 1 week and you're taking him the distance. I'm like, how good is he? But then after you see him like go out there and just like confidently take down Whitaker, go straight for the choke, break his jaw instantly. I'm like, it was just an incredible performance, and that put me on the Kazmat train a little bit more, but I still think I'm siding DDP.
I like it. A couple good comments here. Fluffy Flowers, make a t-shirt. I like that. This guy says, I will become UFC champion and ask her out on a date. All right. I don't know. Let's good luck with that. Did G just redo her hair? Looks extra red.
I actually didn't, but I have like a shampoo and conditioner that keeps it pretty red. So I think next week I'm getting it done, actually.
There you go. We still don't understand how DDP wins fights. He wins fights by just active. I think the cardio, his size, active, and to me, he's good everywhere. He's got submissions. He wins that way. He wins by stand up. He wins by ground and pound. I don't think he's got holes in his game, and I think that's dangerous when you have looks like unlimited cardio, unlimited size, can take hits. Like he just keeps coming, like a Merab or even like a Kane. I think that's for me from an amateur. That's how I see how he wins fights.
Just keep on going back to some Rob and Kane reference for everybody today.
That's it. That's it. All right, that's that. We'll get into the big UFC deal in a second, but I had this up. Co-main event. Do you have Aaron Pico making his UFC debut, or do you have the undefeated Lerone Murphy?
It's always so touchy with these guys coming over to the UFC. I'm like, you never know. I feel like they whether it's like they don't perform the same or with the extra pressure, being in the UFC under that banner. I feel like even guys coming from big promotions like Bellator, PFL, you see that in them, that usually like Patricio Pitbull, he opened up a little bit more his last fight, but his first fight in the UFC, he was very slow. I feel like or even like a Michael Venom Page came over and is looking phenomenal. I'm like, I feel like you see guys go both ways of like how well they do once they're brought over to the UFC. So I'm like, yeah, I feel like these I can never call. I'm always going to be wrong.
Grant's very high in the Ron Murphy. He feels, I think his comment was he thinks that Aaron Pico is a lesser Josh Emmett and LaRon Murphy just beat Josh Emmett pretty handily. So he thinks LaRon Murphy will get the job done. This is the fight we haven't even talked about, probably like the fun fight of the card. Jeff Neal, I hate to say it, but kind of that guy, Jessica Andrade, Robert Whitaker, whoever you want to say, like always there, can never really break through again. But Carlos Pratt's coming off of a loss to Ian Gary, but looks good anywhere else. Do you have Carlos getting back on track, or do you have Jeff Neal getting it done?
I was excited for this fight when I think it was supposed to happen like 3 or 4 months ago. I'm like, was super excited for it coming up. Probably one of the more hype fights for me on this card, honestly. But I'm a huge Fighting Nerds fan right now. I love Carlos Prates. I'm like, I gotta side with them. I think the way that they're approaching the sport is just different than anybody else at the moment.
Yeah, nope, I agree with that one for sure. Another one we talked about earlier, Jared Cannonier versus MVP. It's just, to me, this will be a wonky fight. Like, I don't see if Cannonier dominates and wrestles him or gets an overhand right. We can see it go that way. MVP just has a weird off karate style, not flashy. Like, it's weird. He gets flashy knockouts, but how he fights, he doesn't usually have flashy fights. He doesn't fight phenomenal for 15 minutes. So a weird fight there. I'm that one I'm not sure of.
Yeah, I feel like it can go one of two ways. I think it's going to either be really exciting or very boring.
There you go. Yeah.
But Jared Cannonier coming in at 41 years old again. I'm like, just absolute powerhouse in there. And like I just said, Michael Venom Page, what he's done in the UFC so far has been super impressive with his striking. Like, I feel like, the way he moves, especially for his age as well, is very impressive.
For sure. At the end of this month, maybe someone else will turn 41 as well. I got to connect to Jared Cannonier. I got to see what he's doing. His body and my body are just a tad off from each other. I got to figure that one out, G. All right.
Really? I couldn't see that.
Thank you. I appreciate it. All right. Let's hit on some of these prelims. Phenomenal fights. Chase Hooper versus Anthony Hernandez, right? Brian Battle has a really good fight. Drakkar Klose versus Edson Barbosa. Diego Ferreira versus Bobby Green. Jessica Andrade versus Lupi. Is there one or two of those that are really catching your eye?
You just said Anthony Hernandez, Alexander Hernandez.
Alexander, my fault. Alexander.
I was like, wait, I had to relook at that.
Dude, I got Fluffy on my mind. I'm telling you, I got Fluffy on my mind.
No, that's what I'm saying. He deserves it. You thought he got too much after this weekend. You're still thinking about him. I think the King Green and Diego Ferreira is definitely an interesting matchup. Okay. I'm like, both guys I've always been huge fans of both of them, honestly. I love Ferreira's fighting style always. I feel like he's one of those guys from the beginning who's been trying to mix it up very well. And then I was going to say Bobby Green, King Green.
King Green.
He always is dangerous, no matter what. That dude has power in his hands and because he keeps his hands so low, they come at such an awkward angle that I feel like he can catch anyone at any time. So I think that's an interesting matchup. Obviously, the females I'm always watching, the Andrade versus Lupi. They both, I don't feel like, have been looking their best in their last couple of fights. I think this is more a fight that goes Loopy's way, but yeah, neither one of them have been, their last couple fights haven't been their best.
Yeah, I do feel, I hate to say it, but yeah, Jessica, great career, but it looks like it's coming close to the end. Two last little things. Oh,
no, I was gonna say, because I said this on the when we were on the podcast on Sunday about Jessica her career coming close to an end, and someone commented, they're like, she's only 33, and I was like,
know.
oh my gosh, I had no idea. Just because she's
Yeah.
been in the UFC since the beginning for women. She was signed as a bantamweight whenever Ronda Rousey first opened the doors for women, then fought at flyweight, then fought at strawweight. It's been everywhere. So I'm like, I think it is time for her to retire, but she's still just so young. I'm like, it's sad that she just hasn't been able to evolve over the years.
Right. No, great point. Two last little things from you, and then we'll make it a short little show today. A lot of stuff. Like I said, guys, next week we are live at the Hard Rock. Jay, I'll talk to you off air about some time stuff that we figured out yesterday and today. So we'll talk off air. One is, did you see, we mentioned it a lot last week, Angie Hill's fight. She had a lot of talk about what was next for her. Came up a little short. What did you think of her performance? And then lastly, what you think of the big mega deal from the UFC, and if what you thought of it, your gut reaction when you saw they signed for $7.7 billion. So let's start with Angie Hill and then to the deal.
Oh, I think it was, I understand it. It's probably her last opportunity to call for the belt. So I'm like, her last time she's probably going to be close enough and maybe have that opportunity. She's never fought for the belt before. I can see just like after being in the sport for so many years, her trying to reach for that. But I think this performance showed that you might be closer to retirement than you are to the belt right now. Like she just looked old. I don't think Eisman looked phenomenal. I think she kind of had I don't know. She has power on the feet and she controlled well on the ground, but she didn't look like like she was trying to finish the fight at any point. She didn't, wasn't really pursuing Angie, and then Angie just looked old during the fight. So I'm like, I was hoping she won. Honestly, I was like, Angie, win and then come back and I'll fight you in Vancouver. But I'm like, she let me down.
For sure. Last thing, the UFC signing that deal, $7.7 billion. Paramount Plus, maybe the next time you fight. Hopefully not. Hopefully you got one more this year on ESPN. But it looks like 2026 and above, your championship run, your championship fight will be on CBSG. How do you feel about that?
Definitely excited to get a change, getting off ESPN, especially as a fan, hearing about the price change. Hugely excited about that.
Yeah.
But I thought I was a little bit shocked by it, honestly. Just when I think of Paramount and CBS, I don't think of, I guess, like a sports network necessarily, So I was definitely shocked by the, I guess, the purchase. And I've heard like that a lot of people are, like ESPN was even shocked when they heard it. Like that it was kind of a deal that was put together fast and like under the table kind of. But I don't know. I'm definitely excited to see what comes with it. I feel like as a fan, like as a fighter, it doesn't really matter to me. Like ESPN, Fox, wherever I'm on, I'm happy with that. But as a fan, I'm happy to be done with ESPN. I'm like, I feel like as a fan, it was terrible to deal with all the glitches and things like that. I've just had so much issues with ESPN Plus.
Sure. Well, there we go. Like I said, we're going to cut it off short, guys. We'll talk off air about the Hollywood next week, guys. We'll be live at the Hard Rock in Hollywood, Florida. So excited for that. UFC 319s this weekend. A ton of stuff. The Contender series is back tonight. G, we appreciate you like always. We'll talk soon. All right.
I'll see you.
All right. There we go. Jillian the Savage.